In a few minutes or less, I am going to tell you if the Snugpak jungle hammock is worth a buy or if you should save your money and look for something else. So if you ever watched my should I buy videos, I don't necessarily go through any of the stats or measurements or any of that stuff on product. I simply tell you what my experience has been with it and whether or not I would buy it again knowing now what I know about it. So as you can see here, I have two Snugpak jungle hammocks. And in 2019, when I kayaked the length of the Mississippi River, I took that top hammock with me. About, I don't know, 30 some odd days into the trip, 40 some odd days into the trip, I was getting back in the hammock in the middle of the night and the hammock tore. This area here had some real funky stitching on it. I assume it was just a manufacturing defect. And one night I went to hop back into this hammock and it split the nylon straight down. I was able to come up with a fix in the dark in the middle of the night by putting some small rocks in here and lashing them together with some pretty tough lash-it line that I had with me. And it held. Thankfully it held. But the hammock was pretty useless. Has a hole in it. I considered this to be kind of an anomaly. I figured there's no way Snugpak would make something like that. It had to be some kind of a manufacturing defect, right? So I contacted the company and never heard back. Not a peep. Kind of disappointing, but you know, I just moved on. I had to order another hammock while I was on the river because everything I had with me at the time was based on the size of the Snugpak hammock. So I bought another one. There she is, the second one, the lower one. And for the remaining part of the trip, another 20 days or so, however many I used it, it worked fine. So it's probably got about 20 nights of sleep or less in it. Now, I was just out on the river, just got back today, and while I was out there, this hammock has now also torn. As you can see on the inside, as I was in the hammock, I simply rolled over and the entire net, where it comes off of the nylon bottom of the hammock, tore a big gaping hole. Now I tried to duct tape it, rather gorilla tape it, in the middle of the night. Once again, this happened at 12:30 in the middle of the night. When that thing tore up, the mosquitoes just started pouring in. I had mosquitoes everywhere. This was, like I said, also on the banks of the Mississippi. So now, 2 times with the same exact brand, same exact model of hammock, I have had a failure in the middle of the night and had to deal with it. I ended up going out this night and just putting up my, ironically enough, Snugpak Ionosphere tent. Thankfully I had it with me, otherwise I would have been mosquito food. The Gorilla Tape would actually not stick to the nylon. And so every time I would roll over or move up against the tape, it would grab onto the blanket or the sleeping bag and it would rip it right off, once again opening up that hole. So that is my true account of what happened with both these hammocks. 2 Mississippi River trips, 2 different hammocks, both failed. They also have these little sacks that hang off the front here. This is a stuff sack to put the hammock back into. You can see the shoddy stitching is already falling apart and coming off. This is not from putting too much stuff in here because on this one I did not do that. This one also had a similar problem. It's not pulled quite as much, but it is pulling. Another thing about these hammocks is they came with these kind of squared off shaped carabiners starting to rust. Now, I understand that, you know, stuff like that happens, but these are camping carabiners. These things are supposed to be exposed to the elements, yet they're rusting. So it's just not a good thing to see on a quality product, right? So yeah, it's unfortunate. I did like these. I also have a real problem with mosquitoes biting me right through the fabric. They go right through it, no problem. So, you know, there's other issues these hammocks have, just purely design. They have these little loops here on top. You're supposed to run 2 ridge lines with an elastic material. It's just a real pain, and there's no real good way to hang this net so that it's not directly on you. So, for the first time in the history of my doing a should I buy, I'm finally gonna do one here that is a no. Do not buy the Snugpak Jungle Hammock. Do not spend your money on this product. There are better things out there. I've camped with many people who have many different types of hammocks. Nobody is having issues like this. And I'll tell you what, the last thing you want is in the middle of the night to blow a hole in your hammock and have to deal with it on the banks of the Mississippi River, or anywhere for that matter. So, unfortunately, we're gonna thumbs down this one. Look for something else. I don't know what else I can really say about this product. I mean, I liked it because it packed down decently small and it was pretty light, you know. There's better things out there, of course. But I like all my Snugpak tents, but the Jungle Hammock is just trash. There's no sugarcoating it. It's garbage. So I will once again reach out to the company. I have no doubt I will not hear back from them. And you know, if that happens, then I guess we kind of know where they stand on their product, right? So if they do respond to me, I will leave a comment down below with their response and what they did to correct the issue, if anything at all. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I am happy to answer them. These should I buys are always an honest take on what actually happened and what my honest opinion is on the product. So I want to make sure that you know, if I buy something that just isn't quite up to par, that you guys can learn from my lessons and avoid having these problems on your own. So aside from that, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Take care, and as always, we will see you on the next one.